Hello roulette fans, it's TeKKa Roulette back with another video, and in this video we are going to be putting 10 strategies up against one another, and we will be using 45 spins that I have used playing today a certain strategy, and I'll show you what happened at the end of the video with the strategy that I actually played with these spins. But what we're going to do today is we're going to try and see what the best way is to play each of the 10 strategies and see if any of them can get $50 profit in 45 spins. We're going to have a sprint race and let's see which strategy is the fastest. But before we get into the video, just remember this content is not financial advice. It's just a guy sitting in his room playing roulette on the real wheels and also doing analysis on his TeKKa app, because this is the TeKKa Tools and Talk YouTube channel. We are trying to get lots of new subscribers. So if you do know anyone who might like the content, please let them know that we are here making good content. Like I said, this is for entertainment purposes only, nothing more and nothing less. We are not affiliated, we are not promoting, and we do not sell anything. So with all that said, let's get to see what we are doing today. These are the spins which we will be playing today. Okay, these are the spin results that I played just a couple of hours ago, and now we are going to use them against lots of different strategies to see how the other strategies work. You might say, oh TeKKa, you've just picked some numbers that does well for what you want to show. I'm showing it against 10 different strategies. Okay, so I can't make one set of results be bad for all strategies. I am trying to be fair. I'm going to do lots of different progression styles if we need to try and do tweaks as we go, but I don't want it to be too long, but we'll see how we get on. So they are the numbers at the top, and then I put them in order at the bottom that we need to put them in. So let's see what we are going to do. So the strategies we are going to play today, we might not play them in this order. I might go highest coverage first, and then we'll get down to the lowest coverage last. So we do have we are going to be using the TeKKa algorithms, and we're going to do a 2 streets version of the TeKKa algorithms. So that's only 6 pockets that will be covered, and we'll see how it does. We'll also use the Wheel of Fortune, where the wheel tells me what to bet on, where and when, and we'll see how that does. We will go to the 4 near neighbours plus 2 bet the Holy Cross, and we will also try out again Greg's Casino Matchmakers, the Golden Key. We'll do his low version for today's video, and fresh off last videos, we've got Scouse House's Elite 21, and I'm going to switch up. We're going to use the switch version for Scouse House, and let's see how that one does, because it is similar to the Golden Key. Then we're going to do the recent 2 dozens, so follow the winner on the last 2 winning dozens. We're going to play 2 versions of 9 street bets, which is 27 coverage. We'll be playing the recent 9 streets to win, and we will also play the oldest 9 streets to win, or we won't be placing bets on the last 3 streets that have won. Then we will use a version of 5 double streets or 5 line bets, and we will use the goalposts method, where you don't put bets on the first street and we don't put bets on the last street. So 1 through 3 will be open, and 34 to 36 will be open, and obviously 0 is not covered either. And then lastly, same coverage as the 5 double streets, we will play Gladiator the way that AOB, his version, where he covers the 0 with a funny bet. And so we will see how that one plays out. I think the 0, he's made it so the 0 is a banger number, but we'll go through that one as well. So They are the 10 strategies. We are going to have, it's a sprint. We're going to have $100 in the bankroll. We've got 45 spins. That's it. If someone can get to $50 before 45 spins, we want to see if anyone can reach $50 before 45 spins. It will be the strategy that can get to $50 profit in the quickest amount of spins or closest to $50 profit in those spins that will be declared the winner today. Pause the video, get into the comments and let me know which of these 10 strategies you think will be the sprint champion on today's video. So we will start off with Gladiator, the AOB version. So on the AOB Gladiator version, the 0 to 3 are jackpot numbers and they win 18 units of profit. Then we have all the other winners at base level will win 6 units. And then obviously there are 8 whacks and they will lose 30 units. We will be playing 10 cents units. We have to think about how we're going to play with the progressions. So here we go. Gladiator. We're going to be playing the 45 spins unless it can get to $50 of profit before the 45 spins, or if it loses its whole bankroll within the 45 spins. And we'll see how it does. We will get the app to give us all the information. For this first run, we will put the numbers in, but after that, I will just be pasting the numbers in for every single system. Right, so this one, Gladiator, is 30 pockets. We're going to have 10 cents as the base level unit. We've got our $50 profit target. We've got a $100 bankroll, and we are going to be playing. To start off with, I'm going to be tripling Galen. So we're going to be tripling our bet if we lose, and we will be doing reset at new session high profit to begin with. It might be that we'll go back and we'll tweak the progression style and the type of risk factor that we use, but we will just see how it goes. So that is how we're going to set it up. Let's get on and let's see how we do. Less chat from me and more seeing how these strategies do. So we'll start the thing. Right, so now then, so we first number out would be a 12. That is a nice little win. So as you can see, 60 cents won. We'll just go through and then we'll see if there's anything interesting we will play. So we can also look at the wheel, so we can see where the wheel showing us where the whacks are here. So we've got a couple of little areas there where there's 2 that are missing. Otherwise we've got 4 areas that have got singly areas missing. So for this one, I'm going to put it back to the board view. So after the 12 we get a 27. Nice start. Then we get a 17, which I think is a whack for this one. So this one will lose. So now we've tripled our bet. Okay. So now we've had to go to a $9 bet and we hit a 34. That one wins and it gets us back to not quite session high profit. So we'll stay at that $9 bet. We get to 22 and that gets us into session high profit and we will reduce our bet. Right, so let's just go through them now. 27. Then we get a 24. Then we get a 21. Then we get a number 1. All these nice little wins. Then a 29. That one lost. So we go up to the $9 bet again. Then we hit a 6. That one win, but we still to keep that $9 bet for another win. We hit the 19 and we can reset. Then we hit a 22 comes out, then a 4 comes out, and then a number 1. So now we're just building up a little bit of profit, little by little. Then the 34 comes out, and a number 9 comes out after that. So now we are in $7.80 profit, and we've had 17 spins. So after that 9, a 15 came out. Then a 36 came out. Then a 13 came out. And then a 21 came out. A 25 came out. That one lost, so we'll be back to the $9 bet. And then after the 25, we had an 8. Right, so we lost that $9 bet as well. So now we have to go to a $27 bet, and we hit a 32. So we get one win. So then we need to hit 14. That one wins as well. We could be reducing our bet now, but we're not. We're going to play it as it is, as we are playing. So after the 14, we get a number 1. And that wins. So that's give the Gladiator, a better chance because that's a nice win. After the 1 comes out 36. Then a number 10 came out. After the 10, there was a 23. Then a 35. So, as you can see, it's got a nice gradient there. And as you can see, we can see using the graph, we can have a quick look to see how it was doing at each spin. So after the 35, it was an 18. After the 18, we hit a 12. Still wins. Then another 29 though. We know that lost because it lost last time. Then on the $9 bet, we hit a 9. We need to stay and get a second win. We get a second win and it's in session high profit, and we reduce our bets back down to $3. Then we hit an 11. Now we're on the home straight. The 11 did lose though. So we're back to the $9 and we're on a $27 bet. That one won. Then a 20. I don't think 20 wins, so that's going to be another loss. So we've lost with the 20. So now we are on a $27 bet. Then we hit the 26. That one won. Then we hit a 14. And are we in session high profit? Yes, we're just in session high profit. After the 14, so we've reset our bets. Then we hit the 19. That one. And the 9. That one. Then we hit a 16. That one. Then we hit a number 2. We haven't had many big wins, but that is one of our jackpot wins with the number 2. Then we hit a 34, which got us to $23.40 in profit. That's the highest it's been all day. But then we finish with a loss on number 20. So it finishes with $20.40 in profit. So it didn't reach the $50 profit target. It only reached $20.40 in 45 spins. So I'll save that graph and we will quickly redo the Gladiator using a different progression style and see if it can do any better. Right then, we're going to try another progression style and see if it does better or worse. So this time we are going to do a 1 spin recovery. So however it does, it will always try to get, well, it will. If it wins it will get into session high profit. That is the way that this is now set up to do. So let's see how this works for the Gladiator. Remember, this is AOB's Gladiator. So we're just copying in the spins. Let's see how it does. So that one got to there. What's that? Only got to $12 profit, but then it lost right at the end and was $9 down. So yeah, there we go. There is 2 versions for Gladiator. So the first version was the better version for it. So yeah, let me know if you think there is a better way to play Gladiator. I'm not sure of the best progressions. I haven't got a 4x, and then I haven't got a 4x reduce, but I still don't think it would be getting much more than that $20 or so profit in this number of spins using this bankroll and being sensible. We don't want to be playing aggressive and playing above our means on this channel. We want to show you safe and secure ways that systems could be played. Right then, the next strategy we are going to be testing out is the 5 double streets goalpost version. As you can see, we have 5 line bets or 5 double street bets for $1, and they will be the inside numbers, and we will be leaving 0, 1, 2 and 3 blank, and we'll be leaving 34, 35 and 36 blank. Again, on losses we will be tripling our bet, and we will see how this version of high coverage 30 numbers does do. I do class 30 numbers as high coverage, very high coverage. So we've got the 5 double streets all loaded up into the system, and like I said, with $1 on each of the double streets, $5 starting bet. Let's see how this one does when we're doing tripling A or 3xing, and we will see how it does. We reset on new session high profit. That lost $36. 5 double street, 30 street coverage. It did have a highest profit of $9. So that might not have been the best way to play it. We'll try and see if we can play it. We'll see if we can try and find a way where it does stay in profit. So bear with me. Right, and to start with, we'll try and do a 1 spin recovery, so it wins after 1 win. So we put enough money on so it will win after just 1 spin. Let's see how that does and see if it will be any different. So we put our numbers in, we're ready to go, and let's see what the magic says. Right, and again, it got to a maximum $13, but then got to $22 after 34 spins, and we couldn't put on another bet because it bust out. I didn't look at that. That might have what actually happened with the other bet as well, actually. So both times it blew its bankroll, and it couldn't place the bets. Let's see if I can find another way to play to see if it does do a little bit better. So a little bit less aggressive maybe might be better for this one, for this set of numbers. Let's have a look. Right, the tripling gale and the 1 spin recovery didn't work, so why don't we try and go up 2 units on losses, and we'll stay at the highest progression until we reach new session high profit. And let's see if going up by 2 units when we lose does any better. So here we go. How does this one fare? So here we go. At least it stayed in profit. And look, it's got $17 of profit. So, lots of people play these 5 double street systems, and they triple in on losses and stuff like that. Yeah, here we got down to $24, and we would have had to place the highest bet, which was a $35 bet. So, we were literally 1 spin away from losing, but we got through it, and we got 17, and the high was $32 after 44 spins, but it ended up, it didn't reach the magic 50, but it did get to 44, which is not bad. It's not 32, sorry, it got to 32, which is not bad. But it ended up with $17 of profit. Right then, now we are going to be playing a 9 street bet. So the coverage is coming down slowly. So we started off with 30 pockets. Now we've got 27. So we will be playing 9 streets. And we will have, so each street will have 50 cents on them. It will be a $4.50 bet. We will be martingaling on losses and we will be resetting on session high profit. How will this system do? Can we see? So let's paste in the numbers and see how this 9 street bet does. So here, as you can see, we wagered $328. It got $49.50 in profit in the 45 spins or 46 spins, whatever it is. So yeah, there we go. It got to the 49.50. That is the closest we've got today. Because that's done so well, we don't even need to give it another progression style. I think that is probably the best way to play that system. Right then, so the oldest 9 streets to hit. So that it was a dynamic bet, remember, so the streets would be moving every spin pretty much. So now, how will the recent 9 streets to hit is? So the last 9 streets to win, we bet on. Again, another dynamic bet. Again, we will be on $4.50. Would be better if I was on the recent 9 streets. So we have reset everything 50 cents per street, and we will be doing 2x martingaling reset on new session high profit. And let's see how this one plays. So it reached its target, but it reached its target in 44 spins. So it did just that slightly lit better than the oldest 9 streets. And this is our current winner, our current leader is the recent 9 streets. So we don't need to do another one. We will just go on to the next strategy. Right, so now we move from the 27 pocket coverage bets to the 24 pocket coverage bet, which we have chosen to go on follow the winner dozens. I call it the recent 2 dozens. It is the last 2 dozens which have won are the dozens that we will play. We will be placing $2 per dozen as a starting bet, and we will be martingaling on losses again, and we will see how we get to session high profit. We will reset. So let's see how this one does. Get in the comments, let me know what you're thinking about each strategy. What do you think are good strategies? What do you think are bad strategies? I'm not saying any of them are good. I'm not saying any of them are bad. I'm just showcasing these different strategies up against each other on these numbers. So let's see how this one does with its $100 bankroll. So it loses its bankroll after 30 spins. So it did 30 spins and it lost doing the doubling, martingaling, whatever you want to call it, after losses. That's how most people play it. We'll try and see if it plays a better way in a second. But as you can see, let me just move this back so we can see. So what happens is once something loses, it brings up a warning on the app. So then it moves my my scene down a little bit. Right then, I've reset up the bet, and this time I've set it up just slightly differently. This is the way that I am preferring to play nowadays. I don't know if it'll do any better in this session, but what we're going to be playing now is we're going to stay on $2 per dozen as a starting bet, but on losses we will go up 2 units on every loss, and if possible, if we've had a couple of wins in a recovery progression, we will reduce our bets to get into new session high profit. And that is the way that we are going to play this. Follow the leader 2 dozens. The martingale busted out. So how will this one play? There we go. What do you reckon? Again, didn't have the ability. 31 spins, it lasted one more spins. Obviously, this is a not good set of spins for the recent 2 dozens. It does have a lot of losses down here. So let's see. We're going to try again and see if we can do something else to try and keep the bankroll. There you go again. Again, because the red warning came up because it got busted the system because it couldn't place the next bet. The warning sign came out, but I've just moved it back so you can have a quick look at what the situation was for this system. Right, we're back with another progression style and risk factor for the recent 2 dozens to see if we can get it to survive at least the 45 spins, even if it can't make any profit. But it might make some profit with this one. We never know. So what we're going to do this time, we're going to stick at the $2 per dozen, so $4 starting bet. And what we will do is we are just going to go up 1 unit at a time. Remember, we've had it lost out after 30 spins, it lost out after 31 spins. So can this do any better than those? So let's press start. Let's get the spins and let's see how going up 1 unit on losses and resetting in session. We are reducing our bet if we can when we're in a recovery progression to win on the next spin if we have that ability. Let's see what happens. So again, it's lasted 34 spins this time, but they're just this area here. So this session was just, this area is just too much for the recent 2 dozens today. I will literally just, right then, just because a lot of people do like recent 2 dozens, you know, I used to like it, not so much anymore, but I used to like it. We will go down to $1 per dozen with our $100 bankroll and see if it can last, if it had a smaller bet starting value. So let's see what would happen. So we are going to be playing just going up 1 unit again, just to see how many extra spins it will get to before it busts, or if it can do a bit better. So let's see what happens. No, it got to 39 spins though, but nothing was going to help this system today because, as you can see, it got busted out as well. So recent 2 dozens just did not do well in this session. Other sessions it might do well. In this session, as you can see, recent 2 dozens, 24 pocket bets over different progressions, over different bet sizes. It did not do well today. Right then, next up is Scouse House, Dave Elliott's Elite 21, the switch version. So this is how you put on the bet. For the high version, we have 3 units on the low, 1 to 18, 5 units on the first dozen, and then we have 13 to 15 street $1, 16 to 18 street $1, 19 to 21 street $2. Then we have 13 to 16 double street $1, and then the top column we have $1, and then on the middle column we have $1, or unit should I say, because we won't be playing that high because we are only having a $1 $100 bankroll. That's the low version. The high version is very similar, but we just cover it that way round, and we will be switching depending on whether the ball wins or loses. On a loss we do, a partial loss we switch. Right then, so I've made it so it's a $6 starting bet. That's 40 cents per unit. We are going up so if we get a partial loss we go up 1 unit. If we have a total whack, so we lose on one of the numbers that returns nothing, we will double. And if we have a win whilst we're in a recovery progression, we will reduce our bet by 1 progression. So let's see how this one does This is 21 coverage. This is getting down now to something I prefer to play. 24 coverage, 30 coverage, 27 coverage is a little bit high for me unless I'm just going to be playing for 1 or 2 spins. I would not be playing 40 spins on them type of coverages anymore because they are just too volatile. So let's see how Scouse House's Elite 21 switch can do in this set of numbers. So there you go. It was doing well. It got up to $22 of profit, but it did crash out after 15 spins. It did not do well. 15 spins. So do you know what we're going to do? We'll scrap the switch and we'll just look at the low and we'll just look at the high and see how they do for the Elite 21 with these numbers. Right then, now we're going to play the Elite 21 low. We're going to keep it at the $6 starting bet to begin with, but maybe that's too high. But we will keep it all the same and just see how it does. So again, we're using up 1 unit on the partial losses. We're doubling on a full loss and we are coming down 1 unit when we get a win. Let's see how this performs for just the low version. Again, it's got wiped out after 6 spins, which is not good. Okay, what we'll do is we'll have a quick look to see if we reduce the bet to a lower amount, whether that would help or not. Again, the warning sign has made us not see, so let's have a quick look. So there you go, $81 down. So let's see what we can do with a different bet size. Right, then we've reduced the bet by half, so we have only a $3 starting bet. Will that make any difference? We're keeping with the progression style that Dave said to use. So here we go. Let's see how this one does. So there we go. Done a lot better. So the pricing of the starting bet is a big factor, as you can see there. If we did get the wrong starting bet value, then we would have lost all our money. But now, within the 47 spins, we have made $36 of profit, and now it's looking like one of the better systems. So what we'll do is we'll quickly test to see what the switch would have done at this level, and then we'll go and we'll test the high as well. Right, and we're back on the switch, but this time we've got the $3 starting bet, not the $6 starting bet. Let's see if it does any better. No, so it lasted 17 spins this time, so it didn't do that well. So we'll just quickly move on to and see how the Elite 21 high does. Right, we're on the Elite 21 high and we're just going to do the $3 bet and let's see how that does. Again, partial losses, we go up 1 unit. Full losses, we go up by a martingale 2xing, and then if we win, we come down 1 progression and we reset at session high profit. So let's see how the high does. Is it going to be the best? No, it lasted 17 spins as well and then didn't do very well either. So the Elite switch, that was the Elite switch again, sorry. So let's actually do the Elite 21 high and let's see how it performs. There we go, $38.40 profit. So that did do okay as well. So again, like I said, it's about getting the starting bet correct and the progression style correct. Obviously $6 wasn't good for the Elite 21, but with $100 bankroll. So let's see what the next strategy does. Right, now we're moving on to the golden key low. So here we have 3 units on the first dozen, and then we have 1 unit each on the streets, 13 to 15, 16 to 18, and 19 to 21. So the street bets play twice the amount as the dozen bet. So we were going to have a $3 starting bet. So we're having 50 cents units. Now, the way we play this progression is we go up 1 unit on losses, and then on the 2 wins, we come down 1 progression. That's the way Greg at Casino Matchmaker says to play it. And then we will reduce bets if possible to reach session high profit to keep ourselves safe. So let's see how this one performs in our 47 spins. There we go, it done well. $43.50 after the full 47 spins. That has done quite well. That is near the top of the leaderboard at the minute. The golden key, it does well quite a lot of the time. So yeah, let me know what you think about the golden key. Yeah, 21 pocket coverage I think is quite a good system. Right, let's get the next system. We're on the Holy Cross. Right then, as you can see, they are the Holy Cross numbers, but they're more. You can see it better here. So we have near neighbor 2s on the 0, on the 5, on the 17, and on the 18. We'll keep this one with the wheel view. Now then, bet size for the Golden Cross, not a $10 starting bet, or $4 is what I like to play with quite a lot. And what are we going to do on the Golden Cross? Now, what I like to do with the Golden Cross is go up 2 units and then reduce bets if possible to reach session high profit. That's the way I like to play it. So that's the way we're going to start off and see how the system does with the way I like to play it. So let's put in the numbers. Remember, this is 20 pocket coverage. This is the lowest coverage so far today. How does it do? So it was doing okay. It was doing okay. It got to $30 of profit, but then hit some bad numbers. And then it bust out after 28 spins. Interesting. Again, the warning sign has moved everything. So there you go. That's what we can see. Right. So what we'll do now is we'll reset. And what we'll do is instead of going up 2 units, we'll go up 1 unit and we'll reduce bets if possible and see if that makes any difference. So now we're going to go up just by 1 unit and we'll still be reducing. Let's see what we get. Will it perform any better? Get in the comments and let me know what you think. So it has performed better. It got $16 and 80 in profit after the 47 spins. It was a bit choppy up and downy. So there we go. That was the Golden Cross. We've only got 2 more strategies to come and they are both low coverage. Let's see how they do. All right then, so the next strategy is just betting on 2 streets. It's the TeKKa algorithm. If you saw my old channel videos, you will know that I used to have an algorithm. I still do. It's still baked into the TeKKa app, but I just don't use it as much anymore because I've got new ways to play. But the algorithm is a solid way to play, and the algorithm looks at multiple things and then decides which parameters that we want to bet on. So this is doing the algorithm for betting on 2 streets. So what we're going to do here is we're only on 2 street coverage, 6 pocket coverage. So we are going to be on 30 cents per street. So it's a 60 cent starting bet, and we're just going to go. We're going to go up 1 unit at a time. This might be too aggressive for the strategy. It might not be. It might do all right. I'm not sure. And again, if we can reduce our bets, we will reduce our bets to get into new session high. And we'll just see how it goes. So yeah, let's see how we do on this one. So let's paste in the numbers and let's see how it does. There we go. It got its $50.40 in 27 spins, starting off with a 60 cents bet. 27 spins, and it has got $50 of profit. Have we just seen the winner of today's video? Because I'm not being funny, that is some good. We might have to play that one out live in a second, but for now we'll go and see what the next strategy, final strategy, can do to compare to that one. And as always, I didn't show you because the profit target one came up this time, so here you go. There is the profit, $50.40 in a what would we wager? $46. 100% return on investment, people. 100% return on investment. So the 6 pocket bet is winning so far, but now I've saved my favorite to last. It is the Wheel of Fortune. I have a video on the Wheel of Fortune on the channel. If you've not seen it, go back and watch it. What is the Wheel of Fortune? The Wheel of Fortune is, it looks back, the wheel looks through the data, and then the wheel decides and tells me what bets to put on, what pockets to place the bets on. And normally it will tell me between 8 and 14 pockets to play each bet, and it will tell me to keep on the same numbers for 10 to 15 spins, and then it will tell me to change the numbers. And how do we play this? So we start off with 10 cents per pocket. So at the start we're going to have a $130 bet, but as it goes we will have different bets, different bet sizes. And what we'll do for this one, because it is my favorite, we will put the numbers in one by one and let's see how the graph develops. We will be going up 2 units on losses, and if we can reduce our bet after a win, so we would win in session high profit on the next spin, that is what we will do. So let's see how this bet goes. So we start off with the number 12. That won. Then we had a 27. That one lost, so we go up 2 units. Then we hit a 17. That also lost, so now we're in the negative, and now we're up to a $6.50 bet. Then we hit a 34. That also lost. Then we hit a 22. That one has got us into session high profit. This system, okay, let me just be clear of this system. When I play this system, I don't play every spin all the time, but this is me playing every spin every time. And we will get lots of losses, but the wheel is picking the numbers that will hit. So let's see how we do. We're back down to base level bet now, and we last had the 22. So 5 numbers, we are $6.70 in profit after 5 numbers. Then we hit a 27. That loses. We go up 2 units. 32. That loses. We go up 2 units. The 24 wins. We're in session high profit again, and that is great. Then we get to 21. That loses. Then we hit a number 1. That loses. Let's just, for a little bit, let's have a look at where the numbers are on the wheel. That's number 1. That lost. Then we hit a 29. That also lost. And then we hit a number 6, and that's lost. And now it's put us back into the negative. And we'll be going up another 2 units to number 19. It's that 1, and it just got us into session high profit. So we have now reset, and the wheel has decided that we want to have some new numbers. So it's told us to go on the new numbers, so we will go on the new numbers. And this time, instead of being 13 numbers, we got 12 numbers. And then it starts off with a 22. That one lost. But look at that little 4 on its own. The next number is a 4, and that wins, and we're in session high profit, and we reset our bet to $1.20. After the 4, we get a 1. So that one lost. Then we hit a 34, and that also loses. So now we've gone up 2 units again. And a number 9 loses for us as well, and that goes up now another 2 units on the next bet. Then we hit 15, and again, not good for us. We've just snuck into the negative. We go up another 2 units, but we hit the 36, and let's see how the 36 deals. And we get just about into session high profit. That is good for us. And then the very next spin, it's the pocket next door, 36. Number 13, we were on that one as well. And now we are getting into $23.70 of profit. The next number that came out was a 21. We're on the base level bet, and that lost. Then the 25 came out, and that also lost. And then the number 8 came out, and that also lost as well. After that, the 32 came out, and the wheel said, enough of them numbers, let's get some new numbers. So we're still going up 2 units. Now we're on a $10.80 bet, and the first number we get out is a 14, and that one wins for us, and it gets us into session high profit, and we can reset to $1.20. Then after the 14, a number 1 hits, so that one lost. Then the 36 hits, which is a loser this time. Then the number 10 hits, and that's another loser. And then a 23 hits next door to the 10, and that loses as well. But then we hit a nice 35, and that gets us back just about into profit, so we can reset to $1.20. Then straight away after hits at 18, that also wins for us. And then after that, it stays in the same area with a 12, but that one doesn't win for us. Decides to stick about though, hits a 29. So again, it's in that area where I've got in that 0 to 18 area, and it's hit the 2 numbers that I don't want it to hit. So the 12, 29, then the 9 comes out, and that loses as well. And again, after the 4, there's just a couple after the 18. But after the 9, the 18 comes back to our rescue, and we're back into session high profit, $36.90 now in profit, and we're on the home straight. So now we're back to base level bet, and we hit a number 11, and that loses. Then we hit 27, and that loses it. Well, and the wheel says enough is enough. Let's switch up the numbers. So it switched up the numbers for us. Still give us 12 numbers to play. And the first number out when it switched the numbers for us was a 20, and we win, and we're into session high profit. See, the numbers moved, and then we won. Okay, that's how this system works. This is the wheel telling us. And then 26 hits, and that won for us as well. And don't forget, these are the numbers which I've played on every other system. Every other system. And there's only one that's coming close to it at the minute, and that is the low coverage of the 6 pocket bet. This is around a 12 pocket bet, but this is dynamic. not fluidly dynamic every spin, but it is dynamic. Then we hit a 14. We did win a few spins ago on the 14, but not this time. Then we hit a 19 and that lost. And then we hit a 9 as well and that lost. Then after the 9, we hit a 16. That is a good number for us. And that puts us into session high profit, $52.50 of profit in 44 spins. So there you go, people. That was the Wheel of Fortune, where the wheel does show me what to bet on. So that was 10 different strategies. Try to play them all a different way to make it fair. So let's go and have a quick recap and see how the graphs show for each of these 10. Right then, Gladiator, these are the graphs. This is how each of the strategies did in 46 or 47 spins. Gladiator did all right. It got $20 of profit when we played the 3x martingale. And then when we tried to do the one spin win, it lost $9. You know, it's 30 pocket coverage, people, right? Yeah. And as you'll see when we go through the review, the lower the number of pockets, the better the outcomes generally are. Not always, because, you know, there's just one set of numbers. But as you can see, you know, I played these numbers with the Wheel of Fortune, and then I just quickly chose 9 different strategies to put it up against, and we just seeing which ones did well, which ones didn't. So that is a $20 of profit. I wonder where that does actually finish. It finishes about 5th probably. I'm not 100% sure. Then we've got the 5 double streaks. We had to try hard to get this to work, because we did it with $1 and it bust out after 20 spins. Then it bust out after 9 spins when we changed the parameters. And then finally, we got it to get to a $17 profit when we tweaked it going. And instead of going up 3x and 2x, we actually just went up 2 units at a time instead of being a bit more aggressive. So we lessened our aggressiveness so we could get through losses when we lose 2 or 3 times in a row on the 5 double streaks, which does happen sometimes. But yes, didn't do as well as the Gladiator though either, did it? Then we had the 9 streets, 9 oldest streets, $49 in the 47 spins. So that's going to be up there in top 3 or top 4. Very nice little system, martingaling, and then we are just trying to get to session high profit, and then we reset. The 44 spins, the 9 streets, recent 9 streets, 44 spins got $50 off, $60 of profit. That's potentially number 1 spot, isn't it? That is potentially number 1 spot. There's a little bit of a dip here, but you know, the way it plays, it did really well. $756 compared to only 328. So the oldest streets, you didn't have to wager as much, but you got $10 less profit. They were all within the $100 bankroll. Remember, that is a strict small bankroll, $100 bankroll for 45 spins. Then we went on to the recent 2 dozens, and we tried and we tried and we tried, but we could not get this system to win. There was just an area in these numbers that the recent 2 dozens did not like. And yeah, we got 31 spins. 34 spins was the most amount of spins that we could get the recent 2 dozens to last before it lost enough bankroll so it couldn't place another bet. 24 pocket coverage, and we're going to show some different strategies in a second as we've just gone through the video, and show you that lower coverage potentially is the better way to play when you want to play roulette. Elite 21, again, started off badly. So this is the Switch version, did bad on both ways we tried. So this is with the $6 bet, this is with the $3 bet. They both did bad. $6 bet on the low was not good, and it lost its bankroll in seconds. 8 spins, and it lost its bankroll because it couldn't place the next bet. But when we were at a $3 bet and we used the progression that Scouse House did say, it got to a $36 profit in the 47 spins, and it got $38 of profit on the high version of the Elite 21. So the Switch version wasn't doing very well, but at $3, the low and the high versions of the Elite 21 didn't do too bad. So they, will be slotting in just under the 9 street bets. So far better than, so that's 20. There's a lot of partial losses in there. So there's 21 winning pockets. We've got 8, 9, 10. I think there's 11 partial losses. But there's 21 winners. And that's what we want to really talk about. So yeah, there's that one. Then we went to the Golden Key. We kept this at the $3 bet because we saw how the Elite 21 played. It got to $43 profit. So it has done better than the Elite 21 today. This is the low version. So that now is slotted in to the third space, currently in third position behind the 9 street bets, the recent and oldest 9 street bets. But it doesn't last long. So the Holy Cross didn't do well today. It was that it played down like the 5 double streets and the Gladiator. Even it was 20 pocket coverage, but as you can see here, going up 2 units at a time, it bust out after 28 spins. And then it did get a little bit $16.80 profit when we were just going up 1 unit at a time, and then reducing bets when we could to reach session high profit in the next spin. Then I was very, very surprised at this. We're going to have to think about who actually wins this, because the recent 9 streets got $60 profit, but it was in 44 spins. Whereas the 2 streets TeKKa algorithm bet got to $50 profit after 27 spins, so stopped. So I think the winning strategy so far is the 2 streets 6 pocket bet. We were on a 30 cents per pocket bet, and we were going up 1 unit on losses, and it worked well. It worked well. $50 in 27 spins. We wagered $46 to get $50 of profit. As you can see here, we'll go back to the 9 streets. The 9 streets had to wage $756 to get its $60 of profit. So I don't think there is a contest. Actually, top spot at the moment is definitely the 6 pocket bet using the TeKKa algorithm. That is a real algorithm. I created that algorithm, and there's ways you can tweak it, but the way the algorithm works is very, very good. 7 wins, 20 losses. It doesn't matter about how many losses you get, as long as you get your wins. Okay, so you need to understand about starting bet size, progression style, how you're going to increase your bets, and how many progression levels you're going to have to be able to withstand what that style of bet will give you on the wheel, whether it be good, bad, happy, or sad. Then my favorite, and I thought it was going to win. I really did think this would have won today, and it's actually I'm going to give it second place. I'm not going to give it it's second or third. It's this or the 9th Street, but the 9th Street wagered $750 to get its $60 of profit. This got $52 of profit in 44 spins, so stopped after 44 spins and only wagered $213. This is the Wheel of Fortune. This is when the wheel looks back at the spins and tells me what to bet on and when to change my bet, because I keep my bet the same for a certain number of spins, and then the wheel will tell me when to change my bet. And this is the power of the wheel. People say the wheel has no memory. The wheel has lots of memory. You just don't understand how to get the information out of the wheel. The wheel has memory. It has a lot of memory. Right, let's have a look at this recent 9th Streets. It did it in 44 spins, 756. This did it in 44 spins, 213 wagered, but $8 less. I'm giving it second place. So first place was the 6 pocket 2 street TeKKa algorithm. It was way out in front. 27 spins, it got its $50 profit and just stopped. $48 wagered, $50 profit, 100% return on investment. This one, it's got 25% return on investment, whereas, and it's come second, and then third place was the 9th Street bet, recent 9th Streets, which had a return on investment of about 8%, but it did reach $60 of profit. And just to let you know, this is the strategy that I played. This is the actual graph from what I played. And just to let you know what happened whilst I was playing. At this point here, I should have been on something like a 9 unit bet or something like that, and I could only get a 1 unit bet on. So there's just a little lip of wind. So we should have gone up here like this, and then I went down another 2 bets, and then I won back, and then we got back. So it says I got played 45 spins and not 44 spins, and it's just because of that little bit of a thing that happened there. But yeah, I got $53.71 on the real wheel playing these numbers, and I'm telling you that's why the graph is slightly different. So on here it would have been, it would have been this bit here, as you can see, this bit here, I think it is this, is it this bit here? Yeah, no, it's this bit here, because I should have shot up to there but I only went to there, then it lost like that. So there you go. I'm just trying to be transparent. So what was better in the $50 sprint challenge? So what type of strategy was better for the $50 sprint when we have just compared 30 pocket coverage, 27 pocket coverage, 24 pocket coverage, 21 pocket coverage, 20 pocket coverage, 12 to 13 pocket coverage, and 6 pocket coverage? The 6 pocket coverage came out on top by far, closely followed by my favorite, the Wheel of Fortune. So get in the comments, like, subscribe. I'm going to try and do loads more like this. This was probably a video I've tried to cram too much information in, but I just thought it might be a nice little Saturday snooze fest watch along, and we are trying to do what we do, and that is analyze strategies, put them up against each other using the same numbers to see what is the best way to play. That's what I'm trying to do for myself. I'm not asking anybody else to play roulette. I'm just asking you to watch my analysis and my play and enjoy it. So thanks for watching, and always just remember, I'm just a guy sitting in his room playing roulette, my style. So this is TeKKa's Tool and Talk YouTube channel. There will be a podcast very, very soon for a very special YouTube roulette personality. So don't forget, get the likes in, get the subscribes on if you haven't, get the notification bell clicked so you know when I am releasing videos. And as always, people, thanks for watching, and I will catch you on the next one.